What's up everyone? We are back with the quarterfinals. These guys have just started playing. It is Chai Hui with 4C Yorion up against Monkid playing BG Yawgmoth. I'm Esmond and this is the August 1K tournament series at Games Haven. So these guys are currently in the quarterfinals. So Chai Hui starting strongly with turn 1 Growth and Monkid playing the young pup, Yawgmoth. And turn 2 for Chai Hui. Nothing, it looks like. But Monkid here. Though I think that's a Strangle Root Geist. Yep, so it's all about the undying creatures for Yawgmoth. Oh, right, okay, so he does have a turn to play, Chai Hui. Flashing in Ice Fang Coatl, drawing a card. Well, pretty good start for both decks. Yep, so he untaps and draws for turn. So he really just wants to build up his board, play things like Abundant Growth, get his card filtering and card draw going. Right now, Monkid doesn't have too big of a board. Okay, so Chai Hui laying a tap land. So this Yawgmoth deck is cares about Undying, cares about counters, built around Yawgmoth of course, to get a combo, get a loop going. And that is an Ignoble Hierarch for Monkid. Not sure why he played that in the first main phase. It's not going to trigger Exalted. But getting in for 2 damage here, and looks like Chai Hui is gonna take that trade, block the Strangle Root Geist, which immediately, of course, comes back with a +1 counter. And that is the strength of it. So it comes with a +1 counter. It's a 3/2, and Chai Hui just, yeah, laying a tap land here, putting Yorion into his hand, and he's going to get a lot of value from this Yorion. He's going to be able to blink his growths, draw 2 more cards, just hopefully find more answers. He has to try and get rid of the Geist once and for all, because 3/2 with haste, and if he does manage to get Yawgmoth on board, it's going to be quite dangerous for Chai Hui. So that's a Triad Harbor as a land for turn, and yup, that is Yawgmoth. Goes to combat, takes 4 damage. Chai Hui now at 10 life, pretty low. So what Yawgmoth can do is basically sacrifice a creature to put a -1 counter on another target creature and draw a card. So he can essentially remove the +1 counters from his creatures, his Undying creatures of course. But here Chai Hui is going to Fury, just casting it for its full cost and just trying to get rid of Yawgmoth basically. So in response here, Monkid is going to pay 1 life, yeah, sacrificing the young wolf. Okay, putting a -1 counter on Fury, and it seems that he is probably going to sacrifice the Hierarch here. Yep, paying 1 more life, sacrificing the Hierarch, putting another counter on Fury. So he just tried to make the Fury as weak as possible. Yep. And that's it. 3 -1 counters and Fury is dead. So now he has a 3/2 and a 2/2 on board. So that represents a 2-turn clock for Chai-Hui. He does of course have a Yorion in hand. That's 5 damage, and seems like he needs something like a Solitude right about now. If he had it, he'd probably have already played it. But that's a second Young Wolf for Monkit. Chai-Hui drawing for turn, finding an Omnath, and that is pretty good. So Omnath is gonna hit the field straight away. One of probably the biggest piece in this 4C deck. And if he can play a fetch land here, like, there we go, Flooded Strand. So ETB, Omnath will trigger, he's going to gain 4 life, and he's just going to fetch straight away. So he's at 8 right now, and the power of Omnath is that it comes down, draws a card, gains 4 life, and with a fetch land, after gaining the life, he still gets 4 mana to cast spells. So on this second landfall trigger, he's going to get all 4 colors that he spent casting Omnath. And looks like he has some powerful things in hand, things like red and 6. He of course still has Yorion in hand, and what looks like I'm not sure, Tireless Tracker? But anyway, so Yorion comes in, he's going to flicker, or well, exile his 2 enchantments as well as Omnath. So Omnath ETBs again, draws a card, the 2 enchantments ETB, draw 2 cards. And Monkit here has to try and find some answers. He's gonna go ahead and fetch his own land. Not as powerful as when Chai-Hui fetched his land, but he's trying his best. And honestly, so far quite a good game. A bit of a back and forth, but Chai-Hui probably just turning the corner there with the Omnath into Yorion. He does have a lot of red and 6s in hand, which probably doesn't want so many right now. But at this stage, I think, well, they just both need answers for each other's boards. Monkit here with another fetch land, Verdant Catacombs. No way through. Yorion's a 4/5 flyer and Omnath 4/4. So he's just going to pass the turn over to Chai-Hui, who's going to draw and find a Teferi, the broken Time Raveler. So just arranging his mana. He has a few options here. Let's see what he does. Teferi coming down. Yeah, potentially just drawing more cards, setting Monkit back a bit. Kind of removing the counters from his Undying Creatures. But land ETBs here for Omnath. So Chai-Hui is going to go up to 12. And remember, it happens, the landfall counts once each turn. So if he were to fetch the Flooded Strand on Monkit's turn, he would gain more life. But he's going to do it right now, paying 1 life, finding a land in order to get the second landfall trigger from Omnath. Because more mana is more important. Both players doing a lot of things, really showcasing what their deck is about. Remember, this is only game 1 of our quarterfinals. So one of these players will be moving on to the semi-finals. And here he's spending 3 mana to play his Teferi, leaving a green and a red floating. Playing an Oath of Nissa, looking at the top 3 cards. Probably just finding a land here. Yep, that's a Misty Rainforest. So now he still has 1 red floating, and looks like he's just gonna play a red and 6. Because why not? Look at that, assembling his trio of powerhouses. Ren and 6 into Teferi and Omnath and Yorion just for some gravy. Gonna bounce the Oath of Nissa, draw a card. Probably gonna just play it out again. Yep. Look at the top 3 cards. This is what the deck is all about. It's all about the value, card filtering, finding all the pieces that he needs, and I mean always having a full grip. Even if most of it are lands, still a full grip. So he's gonna activate Red and 6 now, going up, bringing back Flooded Strand maybe? Yep, Flooded Strand. Flooded Strand goes back to hand. And he's gonna swing with Yorion 4 damage at Monkit. So Monkit is down to 11. And yeah, they're at the same life total now. And Chai-Hui going to clean up, discarding 2 cards. But of course Chai-Hui has a whole lot of mana open, representing a lot of different answers potentially. So nothing from Monkit, just passes the turn. Chai-Hui playing out his lands, Wooded Foothills, going to find Steam Vents, it looks like. So down to 12, of course gets all the land triggers. So he's counting up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and he just plays Emrakul, the Promised End. I mean, yeah, that's game. What can you do, right? Emrakul, the Promised End, costs 1 less for each card type in his graveyard, and when he casts it, he gains control of target opponent during that player's next turn. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's also a 13/13 flying trample, protection from instants, but who cares about that, right? Alright, and we are good to go. They are drawing up their hand. And it looks like immediately Chai-Hui is taking a mulligan here. Yup, so keeping this hand, seeing a Solitude, has to make him happy here. Monkit starting with Yavimaya into Birds of Paradise, and Chai-Hui finds another Solitude off the top. And immediately going to fetch and shock in a land. Very nice lands on both players' sides. Right, and that was a prismatic ending. Taking care of the Birds of Paradise. Doesn't want Monkit to ramp. He knows Monkit has some big spells he'd like to cast. So finding a Hallowed Fountain off the top of Oath of Nissa. And Monkit has to try and find some way to apply pressure. Tapping 1, playing a Hierarch. And is that it? Yep, that's it. That's it for Monkit. Just has only played 2 mana dogs this game so far. I think ideally he'd like to be a bit further ahead. So Chai-Hui here playing Abundant Growth and drawing a card. Passing the turn back. But nope. Well, yes, I mean, not using Boseiju, but he's gonna use Force of Vigor. And he's gonna exile Eldritch Evolution in order to hit both of Chai-Hui's enchantments, it looks like. And in response, Chai-Hui here, he is just gonna play Icefang Coatl. So Monkit has another Eldritch Evolution. and he's gonna tutor out Grist. So Grist is a fun one. Probably just gonna start making insects, I think. Doesn't really have anything to sacrifice right now. So uptick to 4 and makes an insect. Then he plays Boseiju for turn. And Chai with another prismatic ending. So 3 colors there. Just checking the card that was on the table. So Strangleroot Geist coming in from Monkit. And Chai blocks with the Coatl. And here we see the first of the Solitudes from Chai, just hard casting that for 5 mana, taking care of the Strangleroot Geist once and for all. So from here on out, I think it's going to be quite hard for Monkit to really come back into the game. Chai has a ton of answers in his hand, and he has enough mana to do pretty much whatever he wants. So starting off with the Risen Reef, ETBs and finds a land off the top, getting in with the Solitude for 3 and gaining 3 life. Okay, so interesting one from Monkit here. He is tapping 3 mana. And I think that is Geralt's Messenger. So enters tapped. When the ETB's target opponent loses 2 life, it's a 3/2 Undying. And it's a 1-off in Monkit's deck. So Chai now has a few things he could do. He has another Solitude in hand. He has Ren and 6 in hand. Something. So he's making sure he has lands in his graveyard. Gonna get back a fetch land here, Windswept Heath. Yep, getting in for 4. So gaining 3. Yep, so Chai should be at 19 right now. Okay, so maybe I missed that. Players say it's correct. So 16-16. So pretty bad spot here, I think, now for Monkit. Double Solitude here. Solitude is just so good against all the Undying creatures. I mean, the fact that it comes down, he can hardcast it, he doesn't even need to blink it or ephemerate it or evoke it, because Monkit just had a pretty slow hand, I think. And right now he's just assembled so many of his pieces. Risen Reef, giving him so much value from the Solitude. And now Monkit playing Urborg. So I think Monkit here is just looking around the board, and yeah, he kind of feels like this is his best move, playing another Grist. He might be thinking of sacrificing the Hierarch just to take out one of the Solitudes. Oh, sorry, he goes for Ren and 6. Yeah, that makes sense as well. Chai just with bombs in his hand. 1 at Grist, sending 6 over at Monkit. Yep, 4 mana. It looks like Omnath is coming out, triggering on Risen Reef. And he's going to draw first before revealing the card off of Risen Reef. So land ETBs, he's gonna gain 4 life. Looks like he's gonna play a bobble, I think. Or not, he is gonna fetch. Yep, he's gonna fetch here. Sorry, he's gonna play the bobble here and look at his own top deck, and he gets Yorion into his hand. So on upkeep, he's gonna draw from the bobble's trigger. Munkit is pretty far behind right now. He scoops it up, and that's it. That's game. So no problems for the 4C Yorion deck up against Munkit. Solitudes just exiling all the Undying creatures. Fury getting rid of Yawgmoth the one time it actually came out. And yeah, looks like we're going to see Chai Hui into the semi-finals. Would be interesting to see if he faces a mirror match, but seems to have been able to navigate his way through the tournament so far. So all the best to him. And well, I mean, congratulations to Munkit as well for making it all the way into the top 8, into the quarterfinals. We'll probably see him again some other time on another 1K event. So that's it. We'll be back for the semi-finals next.